Along with individual experts, Surgeon Masters brings you life improvement strategies in 10 minutes. These proven principles and strategies are easy to learn and can be applied immediately, allowing you to practice your best. Here's your host, Jeff Smith.
On this episode of the Surgeon Masters mini podcast, our guest is Dr. Ken Dodd, a family physician and physician coach. Welcome, Ken.
Happy to be here.
So, Ken, you've been doing more and more coaching, and you've had a fantastic career providing value to your patients. And I know that you've shared with me in the past, like the importance of sort of just recognizing our patients' feelings and other people's feelings. So I know you wanted to share something about feelings.
Yes, I'd even go one step further. I think that feelings are so important to know because feelings are the thing that makes all of our decisions. We are driven by what our feelings are, what our emotions are in all of the decision-making we do. We physicians especially think we're logical, but I say with somewhat of a smart aleck nature, if it was so logical, then why aren't all people Ohio State Buckeye fans? Because I'm an Ohio State Buckeye fan, and I'm very logical. It's the best team out there. And yet I bet there might be some groans coming from someone. And so there's a reason why people...
Certainly someone from Northwestern might have a problem with that.
Absolutely. And so maybe there's something more going on than just logic.
What might that be? What else do you think is going on?
So it's really looking at what are feelings. And I've had time with Chip Dodd. He wrote a book called The Voice of the Heart, in which he talks about 8 feelings that really are helpful to interpret what's going on in our world. He talks about sadness, which signals lost and unmet expectations, with the message being something matters. Talks about angry, which signals boundary violation and injustice, with the message something must be wrong. He identifies fear, which signals an uncertainty, a vulnerability, with the message, I need support or preparation. Talks about shame, which signals threat to belongings or worth, with the message, I want to be accepted. Guilty signals violation of one's values or responsibility, with the message, I need to make this right. Or lonely, which signals a lack of meaningful connection, with the message, I need relationship. Hurt, which signals emotional injury, disapproval, betrayal, with the message, something I trusted caused pain. Or gladness, which signals goodness, pleasure, and with the message being, this is good, please receive it. Those are the basic feelings, and if we know those feelings, then communication moves from a reactive place to more intentional. It can reduce our defensiveness, it improves teamwork and leadership. I think it really strengthens patient relationships rather than looking and saying, this system is just ridiculous. To be able to say in a different way, I'm feeling frustrated and I'm concerned about patient safety. There's just a different way to present stuff which is honest and it's effective with feelings.
So that's great. And as you highlight, like we don't necessarily do that easily. And you've explained why it's important, some great overview of the feelings. Tell me more like how we put this into some sort of effort of growing.
Yeah, when we put it in effort or growing, it comes with just that sense of needing to be aware, to being vulnerable, to stretch ourselves, to look outside all of that logical nature that we have. As physicians, we're trained to value data, to be decisive. And feelings many times are just thought to be clutter that gets in our way. So to value that feelings are real and they do affect our thinking. When we ignore them, they don't just go away. And sometimes those feelings just can present a cynical nature, even cause us to be or feel like we're burned out. So being vulnerable, being aware, being honest and accepting and admitting are some of the workable things that we can do to make feelings a tool for our benefit rather than an enemy that is going to cause us harm.
Fantastic. Give me another anecdote, like a great example.
I was talking with my wife, and in all essence, I was a jerk. The reason I was a jerk was because I was feeling a lot of fear. I created a shameful environment, and it just shut her down. Had I been able to say to her, hey, man, I'm really scared right now, and I just need your help, she would have been on board. But instead, I just shut her out of the conversation and created no good solution for myself or for her. Having been aware, that would have helped. And I'll add one other thing, that when physicians in general just know their feelings, burnout is usually detected earlier. There's an awareness of real issues. Boundaries are set without guilt and defensiveness. You have some clarity. Shame and guilt become useful signals rather than silencers, like what I just mentioned with my wife. Decisions improve under stress. Again, that clarity leading to a resolution. And we can have some gladness that becomes noticeable and renewable. Physicians can move out of that survival mode to a more sustainable practice where they're intentional with their words and their actions, and amazingly, less exhausted, less isolated, more known, if you will.
Great examples. So just to kind of close this out, just very simply, next steps for listeners to think about.
Yeah. So if we don't look at feelings as liabilities, but see them as early warning systems, guides to what matters most, then if we were willing, number one, just to honor and value our emotions, that is helpful. But beyond just that, we become aware of those emotions. To say that it's okay to have emotions, now we got to become aware of what those emotions are: the sad, the angry, the fear, shame, etc. And then you got to practice, identify them. It took me a long time to learn to identify my emotions. And once you identify them, then you got to utilize them to practice using them in a conversation. When you did X, I feel Y. It's a process. But those 4 steps of willing to honor them and to become aware of them, to practice identifying them and then utilizing them, really creates us being so much more human and effective in what we do in everyday practice.
And thank you so much. It's a great message. And I'm going to look and appreciate and kind of integrate that for my feelings moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it in less than 10 minutes. This is Jeff Smith, along with Dr. Ken Dodge. Until the next episode of Life Improvement Strategies for the Surgeon Who Wants More. Ciao.
Now, take 10 minutes and put your plan into action to practice your best.